Okay, let's begin. Today we're going to first just serve as a reminder. This today will be our uh, last day due to not last day to come here, but last day regarding Illustrator demonstration and lecturing. And starting from next week, uh, we will have our final presentation. Okay, so please look at the chart regarding your like in which you do your presentation. So please go to Leo Classroom and look for the final presentation. There's actually I made a chart. So next week, which will be the 20th, we'll start with Lisa. Okay, and then with Ye Wenju. And then please make sure that you come with your presentation, which is a resume or a sort of like a portfolio or A4, 2 pages, and with all the stuff you could put in. Okay, I want to see how you could organize these contents into a layout using Illustrator. Okay, so everything has to be in a PDF format. You could upload your work on our final presentation upload area. Okay, I see 3 of you already. And you will be here using this microphone, sitting here, introducing your project for about roughly 5 minutes. Okay, so like explain how you did it, or some of the contents, a little bit about the your project. So everybody, of course, in English. Okay, this is like a English spoken class. So yeah, that's about it for our presentation, and which will last like 4 weeks. Yeah, I guess there's a whole bunch of guys here, and yeah, so good luck. So like 18 each week, 18 to 20 each week. So make sure your name is on the list. If it's not on the list, please let me know. Okay, and I'll do some adjustments. Okay, so yeah, I'll be, you won't be actually like learning any functions of Illustrator today. I'll show you some of my projects which I was involved in designing, and yeah, most of it using Illustrator. Okay, so these are the stuff you can do when you're like an expert with design and Illustrator. Okay, yeah, so let's begin. So first, I wanted to like this is sort of like a big event I was involved in, and it's actually I didn't design the actually the logo or the I mean the stuff for the branding, but I was involved in the it, it, it's an exhibition was held like a couple of years ago, almost around 10 years. So I was involved in that event, and it's actually a Japanese company that wanted to like have. There's actually a big event in Taiwan. It's called Touch Taiwan. It has to do with touch panels. So anything to do with touch panels, you could like actually like apply and have like a booth, okay, to demonstrate your product. Okay, so that's the whole idea. So let's take a brief look at it, see how it works. So okay, this is about that exhibition. It's in Japanese, so I don't know Japanese, but I could read a little bit of the Chinese font, so I can read a little Japanese. So yeah, so it's like around 10 years ago. These are the contents. well, first, like when you're doing like an exhibition, you have to have like a plan. So this is actually the plan for the exhibition. AGC is the company, it's a Japanese company. They make Gorilla glasses, which are glasses on your iPads and your phones. Okay, but they have a long contract with Sony, so all Sony products regarding televisions or pads or phones uses their product, which is the Gorilla Glass. Okay, what is special about their product is that their glass can bend. Okay, you don't often see glasses that could bend. Okay, because glass breaks. So if you bend the glass to a certain point, it will break. Okay, so uh, there's some I don't know some kind of material in their glass which makes it like bend to a certain degree, then it'll break. So it's a pretty strong glass. So of course, this is the place where the exhibition is held. It's held at the Taipei World Trade Center, Nangang Exhibition Hall. Okay, it's at the fourth floor. It's actually a pretty big place. It was held exactly 10 years ago, and on August till it's actually last 3 days. So it gives the time and place in which the event is held. And this is the purpose of the event. Of course, it's Japanese. It's like to have a demonstration and understanding of their product. It's to show like other companies like what they can do, so they could like get business, right? Get business contracts. So that's the whole big issue. So this event is a pretty big event which is held every year, and actually buyers go and look at some of the new products and see if they have contracts. So that's the whole purpose. So this is a list of like what is being shown. Where they show all the items. There's around like 20 some items, 20 some products in which they want buyers to see. And of course, these are more detailed on. They have a brand called Dragon Trail, which is a big, strong glass. So that's the other sub brand. Yeah, so these are some of the other items that will be shown during the exhibition. And this is like where their booth will be located. It's right at the entrance, so they actually spend a lot of money like booking this booth. So all the booths are calculated in units. So one unit is around like 3 meters by 3 meters. So one of these squares. So in order to take up all these areas, it's around like 8 units. So 8 units is pretty big. So they have a big place to work in. So they came up with a design, which looks pretty fancy. It's actually, if you look from a bird eye view, from top, it's actually sort of mimics a pad. See outer rim of the pad. If you look up on top, and then all these are their products which are shown. So they had, I didn't do this. The Japanese, they did this, but the problem is, yeah, it's a nice design, but how does it work? Because you have like like a white line over here, like floating up in the air. So there has to be some kind of force to hold this structure. So we have to figure that out because, of course, when you do designs, you have to figure, okay, what are the the circumstances to make it work physically. So yeah, so this is the planning for the booth. So as you can see, like on the left is the resting area. They can like have meetings or have some kind of storage. And this is the counter in which they like viewers can come and get some information. And these are some of the different items shown on a surface. Okay, so so we have to figure which is work, which is some probably mechanic we have to get. yeah, we have to figure all that out. So, and these are the lights, right? So we have to go, the red circles are the plugs for electricity. So we have to look for the electric and pipings for the guys to put everything in, and then we probably need internet. So we have to look for the internet peoples for to set everything up, and what works to get all the tables done and made, and of course the hovering white design. And this is a viewing angle from the right and the left. So you see the structure holding up the top. And then we have to have like pulls. So we talked to the Woolworths manufacturer. They suggest we have some pulls. So we came up with some pulls. So they brought some light, huge lights, signs of their logos to put up on top of the entrance, and their other brand, the Dragon Trail, it has to be like in 3D. So it's I have to look for a guy, a factory which cuts styrofoam to cut out the logo. So these are some of the some of the items. This one I don't really understand. Okay. Yeah, so these are some of the graphic designings. So as you all these are done by Illustrator. So this is a great a huge poster explaining one of the glasses. This is a G6 size. It's like a 180 centimeters, like a meter and 8, and a meter and 1.5 meters. So this is actually pretty huge. They make huge Gorilla glasses and some information regarding their item. So all these are done by Illustrator. Of course, like when you're actually doing designing, so like for example, this plan, it's in probably A4 or something, and you have like all these designs into your plan explaining the sizes or the materials, right? So of course I have to arrange it so the printers would understand. So it does not have to be like the exact size, because sometimes I think I explained it in our previous lessons that the size of your object, if it's too big, you sort of like give instructions of the size on the side. Okay, if it's like 2 meters, maybe like a 5th floor tall printouts. So you have like size instructions on the side for the printers to understand how big the thing has to be printed. Of course, everything has to be like has its bleed and its crop marks. Okay, so they'll understand what to do. So these are some of the items which are shown, and some information cards about specific items. Like for this one, it's an A4. So it gives, you can see the layout. It has this logo, and it has this information about specific item. Okay, all the font that is used are based on the based on the guideline. So I'll show you the guideline later on. Okay, so all these are planned. The red ones are some of the publishments like brochures or DMs, flyers that could be handed out. For this one, it's like a 500 piece flyer, which could be handed out by like one of the people taking care of this area. Yeah, so you have visitors like looking at your product, they could grab any like information about it. So some of the stuff, the red ones are the ones they could take, and the blue ones are just information cards. And of course, these are the time schedule for the whole event, like when to enter, when to set things up, when to when, like each day, how when does the event starts, and then when when everything is done, you have to clean everything up during push hours. So this is all the setups. Of course, these are additional informations in Japanese, and this is sort of like the clothes we got for showgirls. We have three showgirls, promotion girls. If you showgirls, promotion girls, they call in Taiwan they call them SGs or PG. So PG is for promotion girl, SG is showgirl. Okay, so it's more of a promotion. So we gave them uniforms, like we printed like the logos on the front end and the back of the okay, to make the exhibition more interesting. And then we pick out three girls. They have they're talented and they have their experiences with a whole bunch of exhibitions or shows. So these are other like time schedules. Like they have, of course, the AGC, the company, they sent some of their companies workers to Taiwan to explain their product. So a whole bunch of Japanese came and introduced the viewers to their product. And this is sort of like a viewing points for the exhibition. Of course, this is the entrance area, and you could like go through on the right hand side, and this is one of their main devices in which they want people to see. So these 3 points, they want people to see their main focus are these 3 points. And of course, there are more. If you want to see everything, it's around like it's around like a 30-minute stay for the booth. So everything you could like see in around 30 minutes, the whole journey, the user journey. Yeah. So this is some of other devices. These are interactive devices, and one of these devices. Yeah, and this is like how they contact us. Okay, through AGC, that's the company, through probably a sales of some sort, because in Japanese. And then me, I am I design. There's only two fellas in I design. That's me and my friend, which is my co-worker. There's only two of us handling everything here, so we have to look for a lot of stuff. Yeah, so that's the whole plan for the exhibition, right? So everything has to be worked out. So what do? We have to uh, like find everything, find the words, find the everything that we can. Okay. So first of all, let's look at the guidelines. Okay, for the company, because we have to follow their guidelines. So if you're familiar with Illustrator, like it's really greatly used in logo designs. So when you're dealing with logo designs, you eventually, if your company is big enough, you'll be making a guideline for your clients in which they can follow. So this is a guideline, okay, for a Japanese company. So these are the contents, and this sort of explains how the structure of the logo and the morals of the logo. Of course, when you make a logo, there are some moral meanings to your logo, which you want your customer or your viewers to understand. Okay, the aspects of your company. Okay, this is their logo. Okay, the corporate logo mark. This whole system, this guideline is actually a corporate identification system. Okay, incidentally, I'll be teaching corporate identification next semester, but I think it's for not for you guys yet. Okay, so this is the branding of their company. It's AGC. Okay, it stands for something. Because in Japanese, I couldn't tell each letter stands for. It's probably a Japanese word. Okay? So you can see like it's using some blue because they're sort of like more of a tech company. So when they're dealing with tech, they use a lot of blues, and then with a red uh, sort of dash over here on the G. So it means something. Okay, it says like it says it means the red means sort of like a flame. Okay, so I can read exactly how it means flame and energy. I could tell. I could read a little bit Japanese, so probably means that. So these are the aspect ratios. Like for example, like the measurements for the logo. You can see there's a really tiny one. Okay, the tiny one it says 10 millimeters. Okay, if this is 10 millimeters, so if you resize it 10 times as big or 100 times as big. Okay, because usually like before, well, around like 30 years ago, okay, all logos are not really done by computer, are actually hand drawn. Okay, so you really need to be precise if you're designing your logo because your logos could be used in business cards or rather like on a big building, okay, which is like 500 times as big. So all the aspect ratios are calculated. For example, it says A over here. A can be any size. Okay? It could be 10 meters, could be 100 meters, could be 50 meters. Okay, but all the spaces and the aspect ratios are calculated like starts it's like a mathematical calculation. Okay? You figure A out, you figure everything out. Okay, so for example, this area it says this equals zero dot 258. Okay, so 0.258 is like equivalent like probably like 1/5 of the uh, the ordinary size A. Okay, so well you get the idea. So all these spaces are measured in like mathematical, so to get things right. So these are the colors in which the logos are used. This is the corporate color. Okay, you can see the blue. Okay, it says Japanese kala. Okay, this this blue is actually color coded. It's a Pantone relaxed blue C. Okay, C means coded. Okay, U means uncoded. So and CM it has also the color coding for CMYK. So if you go to any printer, you show them this code, they'll get the right colors. Okay. So even in RGB, because sometimes you want to show the logo in a computer screen, okay, in the monitor instead of have a printout. And then when you printing it out, it's in CMYK or rather Pantone color codings. Okay. And for the reddish sort of pink, it's a Pantone 1225C. Okay, so that's the color, the coding for the Pantone color. Of course, it also has this CMYK and RGB. And notice that there's a monotone on the right side. Okay, so this, in case you're dealing with monotone, so sometimes you're printing this on the box, and then the box does not need to have like all these colors. Sometimes it's just like you print it on a cardboard box. Okay, so everything will be in monotone. So if you use in a certain situations that you're using the monotones, of course you still use the corporate color, which is this relaxed blue. But the red area will be like will still be in blue, but actually will be dimmed down a little bit. So it'll be sort of like a 65% relaxed blue. Okay, so you have like 100% and a 65% to replace that red in case that you're using a monotone type of situation. Okay, so just in case that there is some circumstances in which you might not be able to use the corporate color, you might just use black instead as the monotone. So this is the percentage for the black. For example, the black will be 100%, and then the red area of the G will be 70% of the black. Okay, so we grayscale, right? So this introduces the logo and the colors for the logo. So these are how the colors are used if you're dealing with brands. Like for example, the color versions. If you're dealing with a white background, you use the ordinary colors for your brand. Okay? If you use like the corporate color as a background, okay, you actually use the designs, use it as a negative space, okay, to so that everybody could read your logo, okay, but you still keep that red. So these are certain senses in monotone. So you could see the use of black and reverse using the logo as using a negative space as the logo. So these are different gradients for the logo. So when the background means around like 60%, you turn the logo into a negative space. Okay, so these are the guidelines, the rules, like uh, that the brand provides for customers or for any like manufacturer in case they're like if I want to print your stuff, but I'm doing the design, but this is this type of stuff step I have to follow. So yeah, these are more of the stuff. These are the corporate logo arrangements. Like when your logo is placed in a white background, the amount of space in which it meets the borders is also calculated. It needs to have like how much space like before you hit the borders. So that's pretty important. So in color and in monotone. Of course, this is fax use. So when you're faxing, so the grayscale will be gone. It's actually a solid line. When you're doing when you're faxing uh, the image of the logo, right? And this is sort of like a contrast, just in case like the logo it gives like more depth, in which the logo could be used probably in televisions and websites. Yeah, these are the incorrect use, okay, of the logo. So you also have to design uh, what is misused. Okay, so these are instructions in which you don't want your manufacturers to do. These are errors. So for example, the wrong color, like the aspect ratio is wrong, and then to have like a outline of the logo as as a official publishment. This is wrong. Like this is just to turn the logo into using strokes. So this is not the way the logo works. Or you have it too dark of a background and then you still use corporate color, you won't be able to identify the brand. So this is wrong. So you use any colorful background, this is also not bearable. Okay, and the misuse of the blue and the red. Okay, this is the other way around. So these are wrong instructions. Actually, the right instructions, but they're a wrong demonstrations of what is misused. So this is the corporate logo type. Of course, they're a Japanese company, so their logo types are in Japanese. Well, you can also read it. It's also Chinese, so you can be able to read it. And this is in English. And then all the spacings and the font, it's not just some font you pick and then you use. Like each letter, each word is designed, it's redesigned, right? So to fit uh, the scenario with the logo. So it fits the design with the logo. Okay. So this is from read from left to right, just like English, read from left to right, and then this reads up to down. Okay. So the name of the company. It used to be that the Asian, like for example, Chinese and Japanese, maybe some of the other Asian languages reads from right to left, right? But they change it. Okay, now everything reads from left to right, except manga. Okay, so or some some books are still from left to right, but most of the stuff, formal stuff, all from left to right, just like it. Okay, so this is like other like group company copy styles. So they have like some other company, like probably some other related companies also use their brand, the ACC brand. So these are the designing for the companies. So it's this, yeah, this is it says ACC Chemicals. So this is other brand, and this is actually the font that is used. Okay, so this font, because it's using a Japanese, so it's sort of like Japanese font, it's like Berlin character, something like that. Okay, it's in Japanese. So the name of the font. Okay, so it's not necessarily that like you have to design everything, but at least use uh, the type of font that fits in with your whole overall design. Okay, so this is the English font which is used the Frutiger font. Okay, it's hard to read. Okay, so this Frutiger font bold is the type of font that is used for the branding. So these are like specific measurements. Like for example, the AGC, the A is calculated as a 1A. So these are like mathematical. You have to like calculate the spacing between like uh, each the logo and the logo type to get the right aspect ratio. Okay, like if you follow the skyline, even though your logo and the branding might be hand printed, hand painted, you'll still get the aspect ratios correct if you follow the guideline. Okay, so and then here are like some like minor adjustments for that design, and they also have like a slogan. Okay, the slogan says like "Look beyond." Okay, so they also have like different aspect ratios for the look beyond, the corporate color, which is the color is a little bit different because they want to emphasize that look beyond. So it has this Pantone 288 color, and if it's like a monotone in black. So you see they always have a small version of the brand, just in case in case you have to have it printed, for example, on a business card, you still be able to read it. Okay, so they have like a bright color blue to emphasize that slogan, which is grown beyond, right? Even though it's pretty small, it's like 19 millimeters, you'll still be able to read each letter. Okay, so this is pretty important. Okay, because you probably like because you're handing out business cards or some of the publishments, people want to read uh, if like any wordings are involved. So these are specific fronts that are typefaces that are used for the company. So these are like different scenarios, like for normal style, bold style, and heavy style, both in Japanese and English fonts. Yeah, so these are some of the publishments. This is the layout guide. So this is pretty important. This is what Illustrator is all about. Okay, we're dealing with companies. Like any publishments, like on either of the four corners, if you're dealing probably with the A4, A2, A0, that's pretty big size. The the uh, the spaces, like which it touches the border has to be at least such an amount of space that is like that you cannot touch. So it'll have like more air floating like between the border and the logo. So these are actually the aspect ratio, the calculations for the aspect ratios. So So everything has to have like sort of like a footer down below. So these are actually instructions for any printouts. Yeah, so that's the whole guideline. So we have to follow that whole guideline throughout the whole design. So yeah, that's pretty important. So these are like this is one of the, the logo designs. This is Dragon Trail trademark, one of the glasses. And this is their logo, which could be used like everywhere. So we came up with like a whole bunch of stuff. Like for example, we have like a 3D logo. This is for we use laser cutter to cut this through acrylic to make sort of like a necklace for the for the promotion girls, okay, to have like a necklace in which they hang on their neck, okay. So all these are of course designed with Illustrator, okay. So this is like the size for the uh, for sort of like like a this is sort of like a holder which I designed to hold this Dragon Trail logo, okay. Sort of like a stand which it's glued on, and some of the designs like this one you don't want some of the stuff you don't want people to touch, so don't touch please, and English and Chinese, and the materials that is used. For example, this uses PVC, and it's around like 5 millimeters thick, and the size of it is like it's pretty small, centimeter and 1 centimeter by 3 centimeters. So it's a pretty small printout. So these are like different designs for the printers. Of course, everything is translated into Chinese because it's held in Taiwan. For example, this one is pretty big. It's like almost 30 centimeters, and yeah, a couple of yeah. For example, this one, this size is pretty big. It's 75 centimeters by 136 height. Okay, so all these are made are instructions. Like for example, this is the material you want the printers to know. For example, PVC, and then the height and the width of your printouts. And then for example, this background, because it's black, so it uses negative space. Okay, use negative space as the logo. The way because it's in black, so we have to be careful like which to use. We use the red dot dash instead of the black one because the image is in colors. If it's in monotone, so everything has to be in monotone. Okay, so we have to follow that guideline. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the pictures for the event. Okay, so let me control everything. So beforehand, everything is done with Illustrator. Okay, so this is one of the glasses. Okay, this glass is really hot. It's actually like a it's not like LED or LCD type of glass. It's just like it sends like a electric signal, then it'll do sort of acts like a, a display, but it's actually just a glass. Okay, so it's pretty unique. Okay, so this is actually we're printing the brand onto the clothes. So we got the we use like a sort of like a silk print for the logos, and we got the dresses, okay, from the internet actually. And then we sort of like printed the logos on ourselves because there's only 3 dresses. So that's the first one. We started with the blue and the red. And on the back, the Dragon Trail. Okay, so everything was like made pretty nice. But I did made an error. I missed like I I, I dropped just a little amount of paint on the side, but it's not really noticeable. So we just like, kept our mouth shut. Okay, so yeah, everything was printed out pretty nice by hand. Okay, and so that's the whole structure for the Dragon Trail. You can see it's actually uh, cut out of styrofoam and laid on top of a black structure. I also have to design the structure to hold this piece. So it'll look as if it's floating in air. So I have to use a black color so it blends in the background. So these are all the lights that are put on top of the frame of this structure. You can see like the you can see the pole holding the structure, which is not in the Japanese design. We did some adjustments, and these are all the stands to hold all the items. It's actually in like 4 pieces, and it can also be used as a storage. All these are done by woodwork. So this is the entrance area. This is the first step when we're like gathering all this, all the things. All these has to be built and put in within a day. So everything is in pieces. It's like a puzzle. We put everything together. So we have these poles holding the structure. Okay, so these are like some of the stuff. Yeah, when everything is all set, this is what you see. So the whole event lasts for 3 days. So, but we did some errors, like actually the stands, the Japanese they designed the stands for the huge glass, but it's like 10 centimeters short. So we had to like sort of crop out a black styrofoam and stick it on top of the structure to make it uh, make it extend. Otherwise, the glass would be will be an extra piece will be like sticking out of the stand, which is not good to the glass. Okay, so this is how the booth is presented, like with the video, with their main eye catcher item, which is this big Gorilla Glass, and some of their items. They use their items like in uh, like different panels. Yeah, also on boats. And these are all the panels which uses the glass. Incidentally, they have this like a acrylic cover, which like protects some of their items because some of their items are pretty expensive, and they actually ship it all the way from Japan, but they weren't careful. They broke one of it right before the event. So, but we knew someone that could like manage to make a acrylic cover for their item, exact same design, exact same measurement. We did it within 2 hours. So it was like they were like scared that okay they broke this stuff and then there's nothing to protect their item. So we call the guy up. He could fix this up in 2 hours. So it was like really intense. So as you can see, like these are the like, final setups for the booth. We have like teach the girls if the if a customer comes and wants to know some information, what they could introduce to the viewers. So these are like different angles. These are the dresses and some of the printouts. So this is like the first day of the opening of the event. So you can see they have a mic. So they have to like memorize all the informations about regarding the items. So back and front of the dresses. Okay. Yeah, let's see a little bit more. Okay, got this one. Okay. Yeah, some of these. Yeah, so this is what just a ordinary day of the event. You will see a whole bunch of guys because like the girls are pretty good looking, so they wanted to take photos of the girls. And Yeah, so these are some of the circumstances during the exhibition. They have like some special items that's pretty cool. For example, the one on the right, they have like a device which bends their glass to a certain point, but still does not break. Okay, so this is the big glass, the big Gorilla glass. Okay, and it says chemically strengthened glass. Okay, so it's pretty hard. It's also pretty hard to ship to Taiwan because it has a huge container, sort of with holes. You could like actually they like rented a whole trailer for the event to hold their stuff. So they actually have to ship everything here. So they have to ship everything here like weeks ahead because it'll take time to ship. Yeah, so some of the different angles, the girl holding one of the glasses, introducing their product. Yeah, I want to show you that device. Yeah, this one. This is not really a good angle, but you can actually see okay, maybe I have other pictures. Yeah, so these are just different angles of the event. They also make, of course, these are seats for uh, if you're into like football, like these are the booth in which the players sit to wait for the turn. Like there also uh, their coach sits. It's also like specially made a, a strengthened glass type of material. Yeah, so these are the different angles. So this device actually it rolls a metal ball down this tube and then it drops on the glass. Okay, so there's like certain amount of like force the glass will take. So this is actually a interactive device. You could roll a metal ball down that tube. So these are of course other angles of the. So this is the glass in which uh, I think electricity is passed through, and it will show some sort of like a animation, but it's actually done chemically. So I don't understand the format for this, but it's actually pretty cool to like, show some simple animation. Yeah, good. These are running dots. So this explains the hardness of the glass, the ball rolling down the device. The girl explaining each product. So the whole route takes around 30 minutes. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So see this the device it says here, uh, like this Dragon Trail. That's the brand. See this glass bending. So actually, this device squeezes the glass to a certain point. It still won't break. So it's pretty strong. But everything has to be covered because you don't want. What if the glass broke? Will probably scatter and cut some hole. Okay, so they're pretty they're pretty responsible, which they cover like potential dangerousness of of certain item. Yeah, this is another angle of this glass over here. I think this glass is used for some hotels or some buildings in which like some like restrooms you don't have like a a what do you call like a thing to cover up your glass like when maybe the guy is taking a bath or something. So this actually, if there's a signal which like sends to the glass, everything will be blurred out. So there's no like curtains involved. So these are some of the other products used on the display. So it's multi-functional cover glass. Okay, so all these like information about the glass. Yeah, so the important stuff they'll have it covered up. Okay, because some of the stuff are expensive or some of the stuff is rather prototype. So they don't want people to touch or steal. So most of the stuff are covered up. It's just like a physical, item in which people can see. Yeah, and then some of the coloring techniques that are used for the glass, like they have probably like forms, like films, which are glued or covering up each glass. Yeah, so this is another some of the other angles. So these are most from Japan with the three girls uh, introducing their product, sort of like the group photos. Yeah, so that's the whole event. Okay, so this is the restroom or meeting room to, in case like if people are interested in talking more specific, uh, like corporate about their product. Yeah, so these are the photos which I took to just to have a record. So you can see this guy like putting a metal ball into that tube. The ball rolls within that tube. It'll drop right down to that glass and still won't break. So that means that glass pretty strong to take up so much force. Okay, so everything is calculated. So maybe a little bit higher or a little bit heavier ball will make a difference. Okay, so that's the whole show. Okay, so I just want you guys to know, like professionally, how illustrators are used. So you see all these photos like all these like printouts, even the big structure. Some of the stuff, yes, are done probably using SketchUps, but yeah, SketchUp is actually sort of works. All 3D softwares are actually vector type of format. Yeah, so, but of course, when we're dealing illustrators, we deal with 2D images, right? Mostly. So everything you see that is printed, that is handout, are all or all the layouts are all done by Illustrator. So this is uh, the, the incredible amount of stuff of items of which like all the Illustrator can be capable of. Okay, so this is just a brief understanding of what can be done by using Illustrator, okay, or rather a vector type of software, because you have like big scaled printouts or tiny printouts in centimeters or in meters or huge printouts uh, going on. So it's really handy tool to use. Okay, so yeah, so that's a sort of like a brief like understanding of what the what exhibitions are doing and of how exhibitions are planned and held. Okay. Yeah. So that would be it for this session. Okay. So you don't really have to. We don't have like any practices today. So the rest of the hour you could work on your previous practices which you did not like turn in yet, or your final. Okay, so I'll leave the time to you and try to catch up what you missed. Okay, so you have like further um, questions, or you have like some questions regarding what I just talked about, the event, you could come and ask me, or you could like go ahead and try to catch up with your previous practices, or like start with your portfolio, okay, or resume, title for it. It's the same, and yeah, start on that. And if you have any questions, I'll be here to help. All right. Okay. Okay. Your what is it? Not working? Oh, freaking mask. Okay. Okay. Freaking mask. circle or what?
Circle.
Okay, let me take it. You want to crop it into a circle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, take a look. Okay, this is the girl, right? Okay. And then see. This is the circle. Okay, you want the girl to be in the circle, but also with the drop shadow, right? Okay, so there's actually two things you have to do. For example, this is the circle with the drop shadow. You want to copy that circle. Copy that circle. Okay, Control C. Okay. Okay, you want to put that girl right in the area in which you want to crop that girl, probably right there. And then you want to paste that circle that you just copied. Okay, paste it in place. Okay, on top of that girl. Okay, then okay, select that circle. Okay, and then shift select that girl. Okay, now right click, make curtain mask. That's what you're going for, right? Yeah. So actually, you have the circle has to be on top of that girl because you want to crop that item underneath, right? So if I move this girl, see, notice that it's like cropped into the circle. That's why you want to copy that circle first and then paste it in front of it. That's why you paste it in front because you don't want it to move, right? If you don't paste in front, for example, if I just paste, it'll be in the middle of the screen. So you have to like try to align it, to that circle and to the girl. You might miss probably a corner or some sort, right? So it won't be accurate. So you want to paste it in front. That's Control F, in front of that girl. And then when you paste it in front, it's actually selected. The whole Shift T, select the girl. So both of these are selected, right? You want to crop the mask. The mask will always goes on top. Yeah, and then right click, make curtain mask. Because you didn't select the circle with the drop shadow, so it's actually a different item. It's two items. One with the cropping, one just the circle with the drop shadow. So there are two like items, yeah, taken together. Yeah.
And if I want the shadow to be all over the circle,
All over the circle. What do you mean?
wait, this is only like separate.
Oh, okay.
I want it.
Oh, okay, sure. So, okay, but you want to select the circle with the drop shadow, right? So you really have to look like which is the one with the drop shadow. For example, okay, this one, the third one, right? Okay, so I know it's going to be that one. So, want to like go to that one, or you rather you want to lock everything else. You hold down and then for oops. Like you want to lock everything instead of the one you want to move. Oops, let me get you want to lock everything else. That way, you won't be selecting the pyramid, right? So these are you actually could click and go to select one. So the third one, right? So that way, I'll be sure I'll select the one with the drag drop, right? So you want to go to the appearance, right? Because appearance also shows effect. Which also over here it says drop shadow, right? Double click on that. Okay. you see this X and Y offset? Okay, it says, okay, 0 on the X and Y is -2, right? Okay, let me increase it, okay, to a great amount. And then click on this preview. See,
Oh,
it's down below, right? So you could actually like, but you won't be able to see it right away. Oh, it's okay. It's moving because the preview is on. Sometimes you have to like click to get it to work. But okay, if you want to the drop shadow to be right in the middle, so both the X and the Y X offset, you wanted to have it on 0. Now it's like on the dead center. Okay, so of course you could expand the blur if you prefer to make your drop shadow probably a little bit softer. But sometimes I prefer a little bit dimmer because I don't like too much drop shadow. This will make your image look dirty. So for me, a nice drop shadow would be just like 2 to 3 uh, millimeters if you prefer. Yeah, of course there are like the opacity you could change. Right? Okay, if I click OK, now the drop shadow is right underneath the because the offset is 0 on the X and 0 on the Y.
like if I'm so the shadows like on so you got
No. What do you mean? So you get everything I said, right?
also how can you copy it and paste it in front of the object, the same object,
Okay.
the same place?
Yeah, sure. For example,
This
anything
one is
anything that you make. Like for example, this circle over here has color, right? That's a reddish type of circle, right? You could, of course, Control C to copy, right? So actually, it's edit. You see a paste. Control V is the paste, but the Control V paste it's right in the middle of the screen, right? So there are two. There's a paste in front. I don't usually use a paste in back. I don't do that at all. I never use it. But there's one paste in place. I think the paste in place and paste in front are sort of the same. There are differences, but I can't really tell. Okay. So if I use like paste in front, which is Control F, okay. So actually the paste at the exact place, but in front of that previous object. So if I color it to another color, for example, this darker red, okay. Actually, there are two items. Click again, drag away, previous one. So Control C to copy, Control F instead of Control V to place that item right in front of it. But if you want to use Control V, it'll be in the middle of this screen. So that's how it works.
at the middle.
Yeah, this is in the middle of this monitor. Control V works. So if I move like to this area, if I push Control V, see, right in the middle of this. So that's how it works. So Control V in the middle of screen, like ordinarily, like for all other softwares, Control V says paste, but there's a difference when you're using Illustrator or some, like for also Photoshop, some other stuff. There's always like a place in front or place in place, but they act similar. Yeah, so that's the will be it. Okay, no problem.
So that's another question.
Yeah, sure.
The logo that you showed last week.
What I showed last week?
The
The-
measurement,
The measurement? What measurement?
that professional logo.
Okay.
You just showed us the Dragon, the ATV Dragon tail.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So what's
Oh,
your
can I know how can you make the measurement that the logo and the shape above it is like 3 centimeters between?
okay.
How can you make it?
It's actually okay. Let me take a look. Okay, for example, I just opened the file. Hold on. It's in my disk. BTC. for example, logo. Yeah, right here, ATC logo. Right? You see by the, you can tell by, first of all, like you probably have to have like the rulers,
Mm.
like brought up, the ruler, right? So you could, then you could drag in guidelines. For example, you could go to your ruler. I went through this during class. You could go to the
Oh
ruler,
my god, sorry.
click and drag. You'll see a line, right? Dashes, right? Yeah, you go to that specific, probably on top of that A. The G and the C is actually sticking a little bit out, but they did it on purpose to balance the form of the logo visually. Sometimes you do that, so you see, but it's actually sticking a little bit out. I think I'm able to, yeah, I'm able to move the dialogue, right? So sometimes we're doing layouts, we actually drag some guidelines too, just to make sure that all these are in the right position, right? For example, also from the left, you could drag out this line, right? For example, over here, this one. Oops, I think I missed a little bit. I want to touch that corner. Yeah, right there. Yeah. Okay. So this is actually A. Okay. For a measurement you could start with.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I probably want to lock that guide. There's actually, if you right click on a blank area, you could actually lock guides. Once I lock the guides, I won't be able to to to,
Select it.
to select it. Yeah. So you could probably like probably use a square or some sort. Okay. So that would, the simplest way to do it to, okay. So that serves as a A. Okay. That you use this, you base all your calculations with this block over here. So you can use this block to do some like measuring between these these blank areas or some spaces. Like sometimes you could like turn this out. This will probably, yeah, fit right in, right? So you base your designs on a specific measurement. So all the areas will be consistent. Of course, like there are not, of course, because this is a round shape. When you're dealing round shapes with flat shapes, sometimes you want your round shapes to stick out just a little bit, because like when you look from a far distance, uh, let me like say something. I can hide the guides. Oh, incidentally, you can hide the guides. Okay. So if the these are just like tips, just in case. Okay? You see, if all these, oops, I want to show the guides again. The guides. Okay. If this C and the G, okay, are okay, and group are the same size as the A, example like that, on top, that underneath. Okay. Yeah, visually it looks smaller. It's not balanced. So you have to like make it stick out just a little bit to make the logo look balanced. So 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 that's why the guideline is important. Like some of the stuff you have to like align it, you know, properly when you're meeting when you're dealing with flat surfaces, right? Flat corners. But some of the round corners you always want to let it stick out a little bit, because like if you have it like aligned like with a flat surface, it'll shrink. Yeah. Actually, this is more correct, but it does not look good. Right. So this actually looks better. The spacing is better. So yeah. So a good method is to have the guideline set up and then to make your starting point, a block, and then use that block to do different measurements. Yeah, but make all the spaces, try to make them consistent with the block. But sometimes you have to, when you're dealing with round surfaces, round corners, you want to stick into that. For example, make those stick into that area a little bit to make the logo look more reasonable, okay? Visually appealing. Yeah.
So do you
So
mean
that's
I
about
need
it.
to measure it by myself? Like how
Yeah.
this is how many? This
Yeah.
is how much?
Yeah. You actually, because there's actually no measurement. It's your design. So you could use guidelines for as your reference, but not really as a measurement. There's no measurement involved. There's only a or a you know a
A picture?
yeah a a question mark
Oh,
regarding a
okay.
measurement. Yeah, because it could be an X, Y or Z or anything. Well, you know algebra, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to like search for that
This-
specific.
This one is like 200 minus minus here.
Oh,
It's
you
like
mean
this.
the measurements? Oh, okay. This is this is pretty easy actually. For example, it always starts from the upper left, right?
Mm.
Notice that it's a 0, right?
Still be zero, right?
What's that?
At here, it's still be
Yeah,
zero. It's always zero.
it's all. It'll be calculated from the left. It'll be always 0.
Oh,
So all toward the left will be negative. For example, negative 50, negative 100, right? So this is actually the measurement of this artboard. For example, this artboard, if I use the artboard tool, right? Okay, I want to change this to an A4, right? A4, and then landscape, right? So A4 landscape would always be 29-8 millimeters or 29.7 centimeters, or and the height would be, because it's landscape, 201 millimeters, right? So you could see that once I approve that of the selection, it starts here 0, and then it ends up here toward the end, right here. This line over here, this will be 29.97, right? So that's the width of this artboard. See, you start from 0, that's right here, right? So it starts from 0, right, to 29.7, right? Because we set up this artboard using A4. So by doing this, you'll know what the scale of your object, if you're doing it like that. For example, this circle over here, or rather just a square. Okay, I'll dial in probably 100 millimeter times 15 of 150 millimeter, which is 15 centimeters. Okay, so translate. Right? So you know the size of the square, right? So you know how it's placed in the A4. So if you like print it out in a printer, it will be the size. Right? So this is how we deal with layouts. So we know the size of our object, and then how it's put on an artboard, which is size of a size of your print. Okay, so in case that you want to print it out with your own machine at home, A4 is a good selection, because like anything larger than A4, you will have to go to a printer or use a larger printer, right? So I would mostly do my stuff with A4, because if I want to enlarge it, I would just like tell the printer to with the measurements they'll print to whatever size that you like.
So this means you just need to place it for yourself, like you count it at where I'm going to
Yeah,
put it.
yeah. So it's just a sort of like a direct option. You could like, it's not, there's not really a measurement unless that specific layout you have to like get really tight. For example, a business card, that you need measurement. For example, the business card might be like 9.5 centimeters wide. So that would be 95 meters and 5 centimeters in height. So that's 50, yeah. So when you dial that in, that would be the size of your business card, right? So any business card, in my wallet, mostly are this size. So you could like put your name, your logos right in that area and have it printed. So that's in case you're dealing with precise measurement. This is how you do it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's not really difficult, but that's for you to know. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no problem.那个提醒同学那个我们那个下周开始期末报告的部分所以你们我建议你们今天就检查一下就是我们那个classroom上面那个名单其实跟我们设计课一样我们设计史课一样，就是你去查这个名单你什么哪一天要报告所以你今天就麻烦确定一下我们把你漏掉不要最后一天就跟我讲说老师没有人漏，我不知道我什么没有写到我这样所以那个麻烦看一下你的报告时间这个是在哪里？报告时间在这个倒数第二个这个，应该第二个这个啦好，这边我有一个 final presentation 因为我可能会漏掉名单因为我有调过，因为这天没空之类的，我怕我 copy paste 把会漏掉，我回去我会再检查对，那个我最近漏掉这一个那你也顺便帮我检查一下，看你名字有没有被漏掉，确定你是哪一天报告这个重要报告要英文的介绍自己的简介履历了然后在我这个麦克风说5分钟那个英文的介绍你的你这个东西在干嘛这个就是本学期最大的挑战就是我们期末的部分就是要你英文演讲一下支支吾吾没关系不要怕别人笑这个你们学长学姐都经历过然后跟这个大上是这样子的情况，那你可以有小抄没问题你什么 iPhone 还是什么的拿在手上对着念这个都没问题是那个总而言之就是准备一下这个要我知道我这边因为英文课这就是那个就其他普通班的学生就比较就是都可能会搞不清我在讲什么所以我特意提醒一下OK 好，那有问题再问我。Okay, that will be it. Okay, so you could work on your projects, okay? 对，其实你去找工作，你或者你申请的这样子内容，申请学校那种都可以你就自由发挥也是一种。对都可以反正2张 A4， 第一张可以做一些事情，你可以是你的名字、照片，或者是可以你的一些来历或者是你的一些专长或者是你一些特技之类的，像会唱歌会说那个嘻哈嘛这样然后那个第2页就可以展现自己的一些作品，或如果说实在是没有什么作品，施工之类的，然后或者是就是说我们课堂上面的一些练习，可以就是说做一个就是一个排版主要的目的是希望你用Illustrator来经由这个学期的这些练习做一个2张 A4 的排版然后PDF 的格式有学号跟姓名，然后你看你哪一天报告，确定名字是哪一天 看我有没有漏掉。然后那一天就一定要来我这边，然后开你的 PDF， 然后说5分钟英文来介绍你的事工。
要到5分钟。
就尽量。
啊，很高 OK， 很 A OK， 好，真的
都可以。
好，
好，没有，好。第二，就大家要做绘画还是做什么？如果没有什么你看到的话，主要是针对这个就是用这版好，在这边用英文说5分钟。同学，你要找我是不是？哦，啊，哦，所以你知道干嘛？听懂了哈？啊，听懂了 ，OK， 好。怎样？今天你都会神游吗？没有作业，今天就是听我对确定一下哈。我们今天没有作业，我们今天现在的时间就是运用现在的时间，把之前没有做的补上，然后跟就是你可以开始你的期末的部分这样子。今天没有作业，好。对对，当天，对啊。那作业可以怎么样？听不到，大声一点。补到什么时候 ？OK，其他的课堂练习的，在我们最后一天上课，1月10号前啊，对。然后那个就是期末报告，就是你报告当天啊，就是你在现场，你总会带档案来嘛，对不对？那个就是期限啊。然后不过记得不是 USB 插了拔了就走，那个还是上传一下那个档案，因为我打分数，我要有看到档案这个东西哈。OK， 大概就这样。Okay, okay, just to make sure, uh, have your final presentation in PDF format, okay, and upload it when you're here, okay. On the deadline will be on the day you present, okay. So, for example, if you present the first week, that will be your deadline, okay. Of course, because you're showing it anyway, so yeah, the week in which you present your work, that will be your deadline. But for other practices during class, the last day of our class, okay, the 10th of January, okay. Before that, make sure to upload whatever you can on our previous practices, okay. Yeah, so that would probably be it. Okay, so your previous practices at the last day of semester, and the final presentation on the day you present your work. Okay. Upload PDF format with student ID and your name. So this is important, okay? Because in Google Classroom, I don't know who is who, okay? So that's pretty important. So you always want to name your files correctly. Okay? Yeah. So that will be it.
This is like this. I will